It is the end of an era for England's test team. Joe Root, who has been at the helm for the last 4 to 5 years, has stepped down. Yes, this was a storm that was about to happen, because considering the fact that Joe Root's captaincy record in the last couple of years has taken a battering, let us be honest about it. Root leaves behind a very mixed legacy as the captain of the England cricket test team. He has captained in 64 matches. He's won the most matches. So, he leaves behind the likes of Alistair Cook, Andrew Strauss and Michael Vaughan as the captain with the most wins. But the one thing that goes against Joe Root is his most losses. 26, which is the most by any England test team captain. It goes against him in a big way. He had 5,295 runs. In 2021, Joe Root was the best player on the planet. 1,710 runs in the calendar year, the most by an England player in history. But results did not go his way. He was the Atlas carrying the failing England cricket test team around. 14 hundreds, 26 50s. It was a fantastic record with the bat as Joe Root. So you can say, as captain, Joe Root was the numero uno in test cricket. But what goes against Joe Root? In the last 1 year, everything fell apart for Joe Root and the England cricket team. While he was doing superbly well with the bat, results were just not going his way. He lost the series in India 3-1 after winning the first game against Chennai. In the 5-test series against India in England, he's on the cusp of becoming the first England captain after 14 years to lose a test series to India at home. England are currently trailing 1-2, so the best they can do is to hope that they win the final test in August. But the series losses to Australia and the West Indies was perhaps the straw that broke the back of the camel. He was humiliated in Australia 4-0, and in the West Indies, they lost 1-0. The most damning fact about Joe Root, both as a player and as a captain, was that he could not win a single test in Australia. 15 matches he has played down under, both as a player and even as a captain. He has not won a single match, and there were 13 losses. As a batsman, he has not yet scored 100 in Australia. That goes really against his legacy. When he resigned as the captain of the England test team, he made one very solid quote that it hit home as to how much of a toll it has taken on me. As a batsman, Joe Root never showed any signs of stress or any signs of weariness. But yes, perhaps emotionally and mentally it was taking a toll. You could see that he was struggling to justify the positive attitude. He was struggling to justify like how England can bounce back. It was not helped that he had a threadbare batting and a threadbare bowling. So yes, it was really a very sad sight to see Joe Root struggle off the field. The tributes were high for Joe Root because remember, he had taken over England at a time when COVID had struck, and also because he did not have the resources with him. So Michael Vaughan, the former captain, lavished praise on Joe Root, saying he took over at a very tough time. Sam Billings and Yorkshire Cricket paid a huge tribute to Joe Root. So now the question is, what next for the England cricket test team, considering they now have 3 vital series at home, one against defending champions New Zealand, one against South Africa, and the one test against India. So who can be the notable captaincy candidates for Joe Root after his exit? A certain Benjamin Andrew Stokes, England's ultimate match winner who helped them big way in the 2019 ICC World Cup and also in the 2019 Ashes. He is being touted as the most likely candidate to succeed Joe Root. Remember, Stokes is a match winner. He has the respect of the dressing room. He is respected. And also, his leadership ability is also brilliant. A case in point. When the England ODI team tested positive for the coronavirus during the series against Pakistan, they could not assemble a squad. Ben Stokes had to get certain England B and C players who had not even had international exposure. But look how his leadership transformed England. They whitewashed Pakistan 3-0 in that ODI series. So if you want the England captain to be like that, then Ben Stokes is the right candidate. But what goes against Ben Stokes? He's recently coming back from a knee injury. He's also taken mental breaks so that he could refresh his mind. That probably goes against him. And plus, batsman, bowler, all-rounder par excellence, saddled with leadership qualities, can he take England forward? It seems very difficult. But remember, England are now in a very desperate situation. They will need someone of the caliber of Ben Stokes to ensure that he takes England forward. If not Stokes, who can be the other candidates? Well, this guy, Johnny Bairstow, he is the third most or the fourth most experienced player in the England cricket team, considering that the likes of Anderson, Broad and Root have played over 100 tests. He has 83. And in the recent series against Australia, and if you have to look at it even against the West Indies, Bairstow performed brilliantly with the bat. But yet again, Bairstow, if we have to look at his contributions on a consistent basis, it has been hit and miss. But such is the threadbare options that England have. Maybe Bairstow could step up if Stokes is not fit. So maybe in the ideal environment, Stokes would be the captain and Ben Stokes would be the captain, Bairstow would be the vice captain. If not Bairstow, who else can we come up with? Stuart Broad and James Anderson are two of the greatest bowlers that England has ever produced. When they were dropped for the West Indies series, there was shock. How could you drop two bowlers who together averaged and who have taken more than 1,000 test wickets? Broad and Anderson have stopped making sense of why they were dropped. But looking ahead, if somebody needs to have that experience factor, then Stuart Broad can step up. Because remember, he's had some captaincy stints for Nottinghamshire in the county. He's not captained international cricket much, but you will need someone with an experience of Broad. The only thing that goes against him is that he's 35. And that is the period when would you normally want to step up as the captain of any international side. That is one big question. And plus, Stuart Broad has not been keeping his fitness standards high. He suffered knee injuries. He's also suffered some back injuries. So that is why I would feel Stuart Broad might be a risky option, but for the experience factor, you cannot look beyond Broad. If not Broad, Jimmy, the swing master and Test cricket's ultimate pace bowler, close to 650 wickets, 170 test matches. If you want James Anderson to be the captain of the England cricket team, this is the best opportunity now. Anderson was also dropped for the West Indies series, but he was their best bowler in the Ashes. With almost close to 2 decades of experience in test match cricket, Anderson should be the right fit, isn't he? But if England are looking at a long-term option, then perhaps Anderson is not your best bet. He's 40. He may play test cricket more for 1-2 years, but his bowling skills have not diminished. He may go past 650 wickets, but do we look at Anderson as a stopgap option? But then you're also putting behind Ben Stokes and Johnny Bairstow, who have age on their side. And Michael Vaughan made a very relevant or a mixed point. In order for England to proceed, you have to look beyond Anderson and Broad. Does that statement hold valid now? Maybe. But remember, England don't have many options. And that is why Anderson could be risky, but kind of a good bet for the captaincy. There are other candidates in the fray also, if you have to look at it. There is Rory Burns, James Vince, and Sam Billings. Sam Billings has played for Kent and he does lead Kent pretty well. But how much does county captaincy have an impact on international captaincy? We don't know. Rory Burns led Sussex to the county championship in 2018, but in international cricket he struggled. Extreme good, extreme bad. In the Ashes, he was caught out for the technique, and that is why he heads into the current home season rather low on confidence. James Vince has been a good option for Hampshire, but again, will he be worth the captaincy material? I really have no idea about it. But these are your 3 outside candidates, apart from Broad, apart from Anderson, apart from Bairstow and Stokes. Their names have been mentioned in the English media, so that is why they have a very negligible chance of being appointed as the captain, but hey, they do have captaincy experience. Then I come to an IPL and a T20 legend called Jos Buttler. Butler's test career is an indication as to how you cannot look at IPL and T20 numbers for the highest format of the game. Butler struggled in the Ashes. He's also struggled against India. And if you have to look at it, Butler has been in the England test team primarily because of his IPL exploits. But on the bigger stage, he has been found out. There is no doubt that Jos Buttler is the best T20 player around. His white ball cricket is phenomenal. But in red ball, Buttler has struggled. And that is why I feel it might be a very risky move to make Buttler as the captain of the test team. He may be there as a backup. So my consensus is that perhaps Ben Stokes is your new England test captain. But if not Ben Stokes, because he's unfit and he may be out of action for close to 3 months, who do you get? Perhaps Bairstow is that option. England right now are in the middle of a flux, both in administration and in all forms of cricket. Their county system needs revamping. The series against New Zealand and against South Africa is about 2 months away. They have to get their house back in order. But as far as Joe Root is concerned, it's been a great time watching him bat. With the bat, he has been sensational. As a captain, rather mixed. But Joe Root, thank you for guiding England through these very turbulent times. Stay tuned to Sports Today for more analysis, updates and reports. Press the share, like and subscribe button. Thank you.